Good morning, everyone. Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. So I am in my backyard today, and I am finally getting around to planting up my second stock tank from my pollinator garden. I am really excited about this stock tank because this stock tank is where I'm going to be putting I'm underneath the umbrella now. It's where I'm going to be putting my 2023 perennials that Walter's Gardens and Proven Winners sent me to try out in my Zone 9B climate. I live in Northern California, Zone 9B. We get so hot and so dry here. I mean, I'm talking triple digits, and we really put plants through the test. We put them through their paces, and I'm going to be doing that with all of these. So I am excited to see how these plants do. And then it's funny, all of the plants that they sent me, well, not all of them, but a lot of them that they sent me are such perfect pollinator plants, which is fantastic for me because I've been really into pollinators lately. I've already got this other stock tank planted up with pollinator plants such as Salvia, gomphrena, milkweed, and sunflowers. And then this one, I'm just gonna add to it. And hopefully it will be like a pollinator buffet by the end of the summer. All right, so let me go through and I'll show you guys each plant. And just as a reminder, these plants are not available this year. They're not going to be available until 2023. Proven Winners and Walter's Gardens just sent them to me to try. So I don't want you guys to, to think that you can find these right now or even get them online. They're not available, but let me show you what will be available next year. Okay, here they are laid out, but just right over here, I have my Unplugged So Pink Salvia. I just have to show you guys, there are like bees galore on this plant. I just love it. I love seeing them. Look at all of them. They're so happy and they're always here. So this is definitely a fantastic pollinator plant that's actually available right now. This is Unplugged So Pink Salvia. Okay, so back to my pollinator garden. I did put up an umbrella just for a little bit of shade, so hopefully you all can see everything okay. So I have 4 plants from the perennial samplings. This is just an echinacea. It's called Tango Tang. I just got this from my local garden center. I forgot to water it yesterday, and this poor thing is just not happy, but I'm sure it'll bounce back. It was just one day of not watering, but one hot day. So you can see the heat that we have here in Northern California. Okay, so let me go through the plants that I have here. The first one I have is a Monarda or a bee balm. And of course, bee balm is going to be perfect for my pollinator garden. This is called Upscale Red Velvet. And this upscale series is known for taller, more robust blooms that have a really good landscape presence, which is really cool. It's also resistant to powdery mildew, which we don't get a lot of powdery mildew here just because we're so hot and we're so dry. But if you live in a cooler area that's more humid, this series would be good for you because according to what I've read, Monarda gets powdery mildew. The old versions of Monarda gets powdery mildew really easily. This red velvet variety, they say it's a cherry red and it's the reddest variety of Monarda they've had to date. It gets 32 inches tall. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll put up another picture on the screen so you guys can see the pictures a little bit better. They do say that the leaves have kind of a bronze cast as they come out, which I've definitely noticed that with the new leaves. It's really pretty, and it's pretty to compare against normal, regular leaf color. It just adds kind of like a difference in the garden. It's really gorgeous. So they say the upscale red velvet does well in moist soils and full sun, but it can handle just regular basic garden soil and part shade, which is amazing. So it is a zone 5 through 8. Is that 4 through 8? Excuse me. Gosh, 4. That's crazy. It's a zone 4 through 8, and I am a zone 9B. So I am definitely pushing it with this plant. I'm excited to see how it does because I've actually been pretty surprised, especially with Proven Winners plants, what can handle, my higher zone. I'll plant a zone 8 plants, which, that's at your own risk basically, but I really like pushing it. I'm not afraid to push it. And especially I think that we all have microclimates in our yard. You can find a spot that will do really well. So if this Monarda doesn't do well in this full sun area, next year I might put it in an area that protects it from the hot afternoon sun, and it might thrive and do really well like my Veronica are doing. So because it's in full sun and it does like more moist soil, and this is like the driest potting soil I've ever worked with. I got this stuff at Home Depot. I am making sure to put it in between 2 emitters on this drip system. So we will see how the upscale red velvet does. Then over here, I have this Agastache or Agastache. I looked up the pronunciation and it seems to be, the consensus is Agastache, but I saw both, both ways to pronounce it. So basically it's anise hyssop or hummingbird mint, which is awesome. Bee balm and hummingbird mint. I mean, they're going to be perfect for the pollinator garden. This variety is a new variety for 2023. It's called Meant to Be Queen Nectarine. And the Meant to Be series is a new series that boasts large habits, significant landscape presence, and hardiness. So super cool. It is hardy zones 5 through 9, and it does like dry, kind of well-draining soil. So I think that this plant is actually going to love this soil that I have here because I think it'll drain really, really well. So I'm excited for this plant. It has these peach flowers in this tubular shape that hummingbirds absolutely love, but they're held on by this, I don't know if you guys can see it, this pinky mauve calyx. So they say it blooms mid to late summer, and then after it's done blooming, it still looks beautiful because it has these calyxes on it that look like blooms themselves. So it has interest all the way through fall, which is super, super cool. So I don't have a lot of this apricot peach color in my garden, but it is a color that I'm planning to add more of. I love this color mixed with purple. I'm on the wait list for some of these peach roll doll roses that I feel like are the same kind of color like this. So I'm really excited about this plant because I feel like it's going to do really well in my climate. So that is the Meant to Be Queen Nectarine. All right, and then the next one we have, it's called Rock and Low Bright Idea Sedum. It's a perennial sedum, and they call it a combination of Russian stonecrop with the low growing yellow flowers with the domed habit of the pure joy types. So I do have some of the pure joy types in my garden and I love them. I think they're beautiful, but this is going to be a combination of that and Russian stonecrop, which I wasn't really familiar with Russian stonecrop, but basically it's a low growing version that boasts these beautiful yellow flowers everywhere. So you can see the picture. It's kind of like a domed habit, and then it has the yellow flowers all over it, which I think will be perfect for pollinators. The pollinators are absolutely going to love it. So it says it has bright yellow flowers in the summer. It gets 10 to 12 inches tall and 20 inches wide. So this plant is obviously going to do fantastic in our climate. It's going to just love its life in the dry and the heat and everything like that. But it is a zone 3 through 9. Zone 3, which I thought was incredible. Really, really funny. You can see I have new growth down there already. So I think that this is just one of those super hardy plants that will do well wherever you're at, and then the pollinators are going to love it. They're going to be all over it. The description of this plant said that the pollinators are absolutely obsessed with this plant during summer and late summer, everything like that. So I have that one. All right, and then the last plant I wanted to show you in this perennial sampling that they sent me, these plants. I have 2 other ones that I'll show you, but I'm going to plant them in another spot in my garden. This is called the Luminary Sunset Coral. So there's a couple plants already out in the Luminary series. I think that there's 3 of them, all absolutely beautiful. This is a new color, the Sunset Coral, which has more of an orange tinge to the flowers. They say that you can really notice it when you put it right up against the other ones. But I'm excited to see how this flower is going to do, this coral flower is going to do with the Queen Nectarine, the peach colored blooms right there. I think that's going to be so, so pretty. So this is a zone 3, is it 3 through 8? Yeah, 3 through 8, hardy to zones 3 through 8. So it's another one that I am kind of pushing, just like I'm pushing with the Monarda. So I might have to move these to more shade, but we'll see how it does this year. We're going to just try it out this year. Full sun to part sun, gets 32 inches tall and about 32 inches wide. It's another one that it does say it likes moist soil, so I'm going to make sure it's right next to these emitters, just so this garden soil gets enough moisture so that these plants are happy and they bloom. And when I was researching, you know, the best plants for pollinator gardens, garden phlox came up every single time, like top 10, you know, as well as the Agapanthus and Salvia and all this kind of stuff. So I think that the pollinators are going to love this little mix, and then add that echinacea into it. I think it's just going to be the perfect little, like I said, a little buffet for my pollinators. All right, let's get planting. So that is it. I've got all of my pollinator plants planted, ready to go, ready for the birds, the bees, and the butterflies. So thank you again to Proven Winners and Walter's Gardens for sending me out these 2023 samples. Again, I want to emphasize to you all that these will not be available until next year. I'm just trying them out this year to see how they do in my heat. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today. All my perennial is it. I've got all of my sorry, I have a hair attached to my